What's up, Vetters? Patrick here with Vetted. Today, we're going to talk about Ross Coulthart, biologics, and Roswell. Take a look at this. An account that goes by the name Wow put up this post. Was this a slip from Ross? Are the biologics mentioned by Major David Grusch from the 1947 Roswell incident locked up in Virginia?
The biologics, as David Grusch referred to them from Roswell, are locked up pretty damn tightly in a vault somewhere, and I'm told it's somewhere in Virginia. I don't think we're going to see them anytime soon.
So basically, that's the implication, right? Ross is saying that the biologics that David Grusch mentioned in his July 2023 testimony is actually the remains of Roswell bodies, biologics, aliens, right? Let's dig into all this because I've got the full clip from News Nation that helps Ross explain a little bit about, a little more context to all of this, essentially. And you're not going to believe how this all started. Now, make sure to stay tuned to the end because yesterday I put up a phone number that I set up for people to leave voicemail messages. I got a ton. So I made a little compilation of a few, and then I focused on the very first call that I got, actually. But I got over 50 messages, and it was quite amazing. So I'm really looking forward to this, and the phone number will be included at the very end. You can also find it in the description and the top pinned comment. All right, so let's start with the full clip of Ross Coulthart talking about all of this.
Okay, Ruby on X, they posted a flyer and tagged us in it. Rumors and public advertisements are stating that a paranormal fair being held in France will be revealing one of the alien Roswell bodies in a glass case under high surveillance. They're asking us, are the French about to unveil one of these bodies, or is this all rubbish?
I think we can safely say pretty damn quickly this is a steaming pile of, I don't know what the word is for BS in French, but I think we should be skeptical. I have not heard of any claim at all that a Roswell body has been released to anyone in France, least of all to a paranormal fair. I can imagine that the biologics, as David Grusch referred to them from Roswell, are locked up pretty damn tightly in a vault somewhere, and I'm told it's somewhere in Virginia. I don't think we're going to see them anytime soon.
Okay, so we will all cancel our airline tickets to France. Perfect.
All right, so let's talk about the craziest part of this. To be honest with you, there's two parts here, right? They're going to show a Roswell body in France later in October. That's crazy. I looked it up, and it does look like BS, like Ross is saying. Coincidentally enough, just as a side note, the guy that was going to present the stuff just passed away a few days ago. I don't know, just kind of interesting. So, so he basically just kind of addressing this sort of claim, right, that they're going to reveal a Roswell body in France. And we can get into all the, customs of bringing in a biological body. I mean, it's just like impossible. So anyway, but it's him answering that question that he revealed something, right? Potentially, as Wow pointed out, right? Which I find very interesting because we never did find out exactly what bodies or biologics, non-human, that David Grusch was talking about. Like, what crash did it come from? Where did it come from, right? So look, let's go back in time to David Grusch's testimony in July of 2023 and see if we can get a little more information.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
And was this documentary evidence, this video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it seems that Nancy Mace did try to find out where, right? What? And we've never found out where the biologics that David Grusch is referring to is coming from. And when he says biologics, he's saying bodies, right? I mean, people have always questioned that. I mean, again, let's go back even further in time in March of 2023 when he recorded a sort of backup interview with Bryce Zabel before the big Ross Coulthart interview that went out in June of 2023. So again, this video is from March of 2023 of David Grusch interviewed by Bryce Abel and his son.
You're saying that the United States government has retrieved alien technology?
Yes, the assessment was non-human, presumably extraterrestrial, but we do have retrieved non-human material and craft that we have in our possession.
Do we have alien bodies?
We do.
And clearly you can see he states bodies. We got bodies, right? But he also brings up the word biologics, and that's always stuck with me, right? Let's hear from Diana Pasulka talk a little bit about her interpretation of what David Grusch meant by biologics.
So he basically said this, that there is a program or programs, but he talks about this one program that's where people study UAP. And he said that we have recovered craft and what he called biologics, which could range from a lot of different things. And I could talk about that too. But just Dave Grusch. So this is what he says. He says that they haven't been informing Congress, that they're in a sense autonomous from Congress. And therefore there's a lot of like, it's illegal, right? And that's basically what he alleged. And so he had to get protections in order to say those things. And that's why he was called a whistleblower. And since then, other whistleblowers have come out and talked about the program and what they've seen and things like that. So those are his allegations.
Now, you use the word biologics.
Biologics.
What does that mean?
So when I heard about biologics from Tyler a long time ago, before this hearing, before my book was published, what he was referencing was we have access to space where it's zero gravity, and we can do experiments there that we can't actually do here on Earth with materials and so forth. And this whole field is called biologics. So it's different forms of biological things that we could create off planet. And it seemed pretty legitimate to me. It had nothing to do with aliens or alien bodies. But this was how I was introduced to this idea of biologics. And so when Dave came along and said, we have biologics, that's exactly what I thought he meant was, well, yeah, we do, because we're actually creating things up in space. It's like a laboratory for us. And, but I think he was talking about actual bodies. I don't know. I haven't actually talked to him about that. But it sounds pretty much that's what he's saying. So, I can't say anything about that. I have not seen any. When I learned about biologics, it wasn't about alien bodies.
Now, let's try to bring all of this together, right? Because it's very interesting what Diana's saying. She doesn't think it's anything non-human, but again, David Grusch has said bodies, right? And when Ross Coulthart says that, the biologics as David Grusch referred to them, is he just saying that David Grusch uses the term biologics, but not referring to the Roswell bodies in Virginia? I don't know. Let me know, because I'm a little confused by this, but that's huge if this is true, or if this is at least what David Grusch is talking about, right? If David Grusch is referring to the Roswell biologics, that's a place to start, right? And if that's not the case, let's find out exactly what David Grusch means by biologics or bodies. From where? From what crash? You know what I mean? And how many? What are we talking about? All right, betters, I'll put links in the description. Make sure to go check all that out. Now, again, as I promised at the very beginning, I got some voicemails from the brand new phone number we set up, and I've got a little compilation here for you to take a listen to some of the voicemails that I got. And again, phone number at the end of this little compilation here. And again, down in the description and the top pinned comment, give me a call, leave a message, and you might end up in the show like this, because, I always wanted to do like a radio show, like coast to coast, right? Kind of have people call in, and this is kind of my way of doing that, right? I saw Chris Ramsey had done it and gotten some success with it. This is something I want to do years ago when I first started Vetted. This is, wanted to have sort of a radio call-in show, and this, again, this is my way around doing that. So.
We're going to talk about flying saucers. Wonder about these reports of strange phenomena in the sky.
Just checking. You're legit.
Hi, my name is Warren. I'm calling from Waterloo, Iowa.
Hey, vetted community. I just wanted to share my encounter.
How's it going, Patrick? This is Chief Houdini, a longtime listener.
I'm a bit of a skeptic, but I like the journey with the UFO stuff. Your channel does seem to try to, not go crazy with the hype and be skeptical. However, I have occasionally seen you kind of get duped. And I find you entertaining. So I'm enjoying the whole thing.
Yeah, hey, what's up? Love your show. You already know that. I'm UFO Rick, a.k.a. Rick, and I got some symbols. I've posted them on my YouTube. I'm not, getting much out of them. I'm looking to find out if anybody can read them or know what they mean, or if they've seen any. And I'm also working on taking a lie detector test, which I mentioned that to you before in the comments, and the experiences I had. And if I can, when I take the lie detector test, if I can feather in what my wife experienced, I don't know if that'll work on a lie detector or not. I'm sure they could probably figure it out. But yeah, she's got the Rh negative blood type. I think that's what it is. Alien blood's what they call it. All right, man. Later.
So again, thanks to everyone who called in. All right, betters, we'll see everyone on the next video. Again, links in the description. Let me know what you think about Ross and the biologics and all of this. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all. Peace.